Long-standing border disputes, communal tensions, and conflict over the question of Kashmir flared up in 1965 into a full-scale war between India and Pakistan.
India was ruled by Britain since 1612. There are two main religions, Islam and Hinduism. In 1947, India gained independence from Britain. Consequently, a chance arose for Muslims and Hindus who wanted to separate due to religious and moral differences. As tensions grew between the two religions, the Indian National Congress and the Muslim League were formed. The Indian National Congress formed in 1885, and it consisted of Hindus wanting independence from the British. And in 1906, the Muslim League formed, advocating for the Muslim minority in India. Tensions grew between the two religions, and in 1930, Allama Iqbal proposed the separation of religions in different states.
In 1947, India gained independence from Britain, and almost overnight, Pakistan separated from India. Because of the division of Muslims and Hindus geographically, there became a West and East Pakistan.
In the 1930s, the Muslims began to push for a separate state. The divide between the two religions was extreme. Geographically, Muslims were concentrated on the east and western borders of India, and the Hindus in between.
During the division, Pakistan was filled with prominently Muslims, and India was mostly dominated by Hindus.
The separation of Bangladesh. In 1970, a violent flood killed about 300,000 Pakistanis. East Pakistan accused the government of delaying shipments of food and relief supplies to the victims. Being geographically separated, East Pakistani, which was smaller, was required to pay more taxes than West Pakistan. On top of that, East Pakistan was also very culturally different from West Pakistan.
Gandhi had made a statement which indicated that he had given up his consistent rejection of war. He said that though he had always deposed all warfare, if there was no other way of securing justice from Pakistan, and if Pakistan persistently refused to see its proved error and continued to minimize it, the Indian Union government would have to go to war against it. No one wanted war, but he could never advise anyone to put up with injustice. If all Hindus were annihilated for a just cause, he would not mind. But if the Hindus' loyalty lay not with Pakistan, they should leave it. Similarly, Muslims whose loyalty was with Pakistan should not stay in the Indian Union.
President PERVEZ MUSHARRAF. Before becoming president, PERVEZ MUSHARRAF was head of the Pakistani army. His promise to the people was to bring true democracy to Pakistan. Musharraf became president during the tragic American events of September 11, 2001. He joined hands with President Bush on the so-called War on Terror. In July 2001, Musharraf held his first summit meeting with the Indian Prime Minister ATAL BIHARI VAJPAYEE at Agra, but failed to make much headway.
Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
A prominent figure on the Indian side, Atal tried rising up his country's profile rather than focusing on the war with Pakistan. Although he led the Hindu Nationalist Party, his real priority was to raise India's profile as an aspiring world power. He was criticized by Hindu radicals for opposing destruction of Ayodhya Mosque, the birthplace of a Hindu deity, Lord Rama.
Allama Muhammad Iqbal.
In 1930, Allama Iqbal proposed the separation of religions in different states. It was his appeal which persuaded the Quaid-e-Azam in 1934 to lead the Muslims of the Indo-Pakistan subcontinent in their struggle for constitutional rights. He succeeded in convincing the Quaid-e-Azam that the Pakistan was only solution to the political problems of the Muslims of India.
How this conflict relates to Jhumpa Lahiri's interpreter of Maladies. This conflict mainly relates to the story when Mr. Prasada came to die. Lahiri used this war to show the ignorance that Americans have towards global issues. The point she tried to prove was that Americans seem to just live in their own bubble, while people outside their bubble suffer.